Holy cow. Look who it is. He's back. What do you know? Hope you guys can hear me okay. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Uh-oh. I don't think it's on. Hmm. Can you guys hear me? Somebody let me know if you can hear me. We gotta wait a minute anyways. Check, check, check. Yeah, looks like it's working. All kinds of stuff. I'm live. Man, it's been so long. You guys can hear me okay? Check. It's bouncing, I guess. I don't know. Somebody type if you can hear me or not, please. And then we will get going. Loud and clear. Okay, awesome. Can you tell it's been a while? Little bit different scenery. Maybe I can boost the camera up a little so you can see the. Hold on. Oh, no, it's not going to bring it in. Oh, well. Well, you can see the tractor behind me here. And behind that is a cornfield. We are outside on the homestead. And why, you may ask, why I picked this for kind of coming back after how long has it been? I don't even know. I got to look. It's been a long time. And it's not for any crazy reason other than had to take a break because life. And I'm not saying it's not over. As far as, every week videos, I don't know if it's back from here on out because we're not done yet. We are light years beyond where we were, but like anything, it just takes longer. So I was looking back at videos from before the move to the homestead, and we, there was a lot of stuff. We had to wait for corn to come out, a road to come in, all that. And we actually poured the foundation in December. So, it typically takes a year to build a custom home. So I guess even now we're ahead of schedule. But I had a builder telling me that, oh, yeah, April, May, it looks like, oh, yeah, June. And, when you're staring at a house that's not sided and everything in May and going, well, how's he going to pull this one off, And yeah, so I'm going to say for sure before Thanksgiving, possibly October, which would be kind of cool. We moved in our last house the end of October, Halloween actually. So that's kind of what I'm counting on. And barring any screw ups, we should be close. They got the hardwood floors started today. I'll give you a quick update and then we'll get into the good stuff because it's been so long. So if some of you guys are new here, yes, we talk about firearms, we talk about rifles, we talk about pistols, we talk a lot about AKs and all kinds of other good stuff, little hunting, little history, little 2A, everything. So hang in there. You're going to get a quick background here and about our little hiatus because it's been at least 2 months, maybe more, maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know. But I had a bunch of videos cut and missing like an ending or something, just weather related. And just, I'd go to put them together and I was missing something. And I'm like, all the way through with editing. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm missing this. And I just shelve it. And finally, we had a nice day and I had nothing going on. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go plink. Nothing crazy, not a bunch of noise. Just I'm going to pull out my Glock 22, which is actually a Glock 44, and just see if this damn thing is running because I did a video on it some time ago and couldn't get the thing to run very well. And since then, I discovered a couple rounds that work extremely well in it. So Just went out and had fun. That's all. Ended up putting a couple hundred rounds through it and proving out my point and put together a video. And I was missing the ending, and today I did an ending. I just happened to have the same shirt on. Maybe that's what um, made me finish it. Anyhow, so here's where we're at with the homestead. Um, I should say house because, yeah, there's other stuff going on, but um, we have siding, roof, all that. The windows in, which I don't know if we had that last time we talked, but garage floors are poured, basement floors are poured, all of that. Front porch, windows, all doors except the big garage door and the front door because we don't want to damage those during construction. And all the drywall's done. It's all been taped and mudded and sanded, and they started hardwoods today. Cabinets are going in next along with tile floor, so we're not far off. Um, it's just, I guess, living here the whole time in, I used to joke, ice station zebra, then we went to mud station zebra, and that's part of why the channel was just gone for a while, because the amount of rain we got here was just unbelievable. Then we got hit by a tornado, literally. Not a direct hit, but it came, I'm guessing, a couple hundred yards. Um, they declared it the next day as an F1, and I thought, well, it had to be close, but I didn't know how close. And then as a week or two went on, I started looking at where the damage was and people cleaning up and how it went through. And literally where I'm sitting, right in front of me is our motorhome, and our house is over that way. And the tornado came from this way on a diagonal, came across the road, which is about a half mile that way. And the whole road was covered with oaks, like, the whole canopy thing. Unfortunately, it took oaks that if you and I were holding hands, we couldn't get our arms around. It took them whole, ripped them out of the ground. One went across the road and it planted it in a cornfield. Others just demolished. Roof was taken off a barn right here on the neighbor. You guys know how heavy grain carts are, right? Flipped one over like a toy. Came through my woods. I didn't even notice this till a couple weeks afterwards because we had so much to clean up here. But my deer woods where I hunt, half of it I can't even get to because big trees this big went down straight down the trail. Not even going to clean them up before deer season because I just scare everything out of there. So we're leaving them alone. I got 2 stands I can hunt out of and it'll work. But bigger than that, next to the house, because it was a wide open shot, I guess, where it hit the woods, all those trees were annihilated, and all along, one came down, hit the front of the motorhome. Thank God where it cracked off higher. A lot of them cracked off way up in the tree, like halfway up, and then the top cracked off, and that came down, and it kind of brushed the motorhome as it came down. But there's a bunch along the road coming in, all down. The next day, my neighbor, just a good dude, uh, came by, and I had slept late because I had been up with this storm. And he came by. He says, "Oh, you are alive." He goes, "I figured I'd check on you." And then we went out by the road, and there were trucks and cars and chainsaws going. Neighbors had all come out because you couldn't get down the road, and it was bad. And that night, I was in the motorhome by myself. My wife was out of town, and I was talking to her on the phone. Lost power, everything. And the sound, they say you hear a freight train coming. This sounded like a kazoo because the wind was pushing so hard. It was trying to get in every crack and crevice of the window doors, and it just buzzing like a kazoo is so loud, and it's rocking like this. And thank God for the slide outs because I think they acted like outriggers, sort of. But I remember thinking, I got to grab something. That's all I could think. And there's nothing to grab. I'm thinking the roof's coming off this thing or it's going over. And the thought was like, am I just going to end up in the trees somewhere in the back field? I mean, I thought it was that bad. Not much scares me, and it was that bad. Um, And it went on. I remember looking at my watch at the time, and a minute seemed forever. And I thought, when is it going to stop? And in lightning strikes, I could see the trees over here just bent. I mean, just solid wind, not like waving, just these things were, it was unreal. And if it wasn't a tornado or didn't hit or come close, then I don't know what the hell it was, but it flattened a wheat field. I think he lost 30 or 60,000 on it because it flattened it like 70 million alien space, what do they call them, crop circles? That's what the whole field looked like. And on and on. Couple hit Lake Geneva or Williams Bay, not too far, and just bad. So crazy. And yeah, so that delayed stuff. I mean, I'm still cutting trees. My first chainsaw, I took a shit, had to go buy a new one, and boy, is that got to work out. I've gone through more bar oil and gas, and I got enough firewood for 3 or 4 years probably, and I still got more to go. So that's been the delay. But we're nearing the end, and I guess what keeps me feeling like it's not the end is the outside. We still got grading to do, and now all these trees that came down, and the outside's going to be a mess. But I just want to get in and be done. My gun room, YouTube room is awesome. Wait till you guys see it done. It's going to have a studio in it and everything. It's going to be killer. So I'm looking forward to all that good stuff. And yeah, so that's what's been going on. Plus, 2 weeks out of town in Colorado. My daughter started vet school at Colorado State. So she's out there, and yeah, just in time for all that stuff going on around Denver, huh? Isn't that lovely? Could have gone right to Madison here, but nope, had to go there. That being said, great school. Strange state, man. You go in the cities, and we went to a comedy show, and you wouldn't believe the political rhetoric, stuff about Reagan and Reagan's wife, and just so nasty. But you go outside the city, and it's normal. But these college towns, man, we got some work to do, brother. Let me tell you. But it's been the journey. So hasn't been a ton of shooting going on. I've really been working with that Zastava, um, and just really putting some rounds through that thing. I don't even know the round count, but it's big. Um, that being said, I wanted to talk to you guys about some Clayco came out with a video about the M70AB2 builds, the government surplus, and all this. And he's got his facts right. He goes on the beginning telling about Atlantic Firearms was the first to come up with them, and they sold a batch, and then AIM Surplus did, and he said it was the cheapest um, AK pattern rifle available right now on the market at whatever it was, $4.99 or $5.99. And when he said AB2, I knew right away. I just knew, but I didn't suspect the military thing. That didn't quite ring home at first, but and I'm still, I guess I'm not questioning it. No, that's not the right way to put it. But I just find it so funny, and I've talked to you guys about this before, that when those things came out way back when, let's see, it's been at least 18 years. So, yeah, 2010 or so, somewhere in there, maybe even earlier. But everybody laughed. Oh, junk, kit guns, century, this and that. Well, these are the same guns that he's talking about that yeah, the military took a bunch for some type of training or whatever and beat the snot out of them. And some are better than others. Some are really bad. He showed one with a chamber all reamed out, like with a Dremel and all kinds of craziness. I guess they were shooting blanks and there's screws missing and all kinds of stuff. But if you want to see it, go over and check it out. But now they're talking, oh, how great these are. And, he bought his because of the patina that the U.S. government put on it, right? But I find it so funny that, I was chastised so much back in the day for these, and now so many people look at these rifles as, well, at least the ones that came straight from Century were damn good rifles. Um, and now these, oh, maybe collectible and all this stuff back when you were buying them dirt cheap. And all these years I've been saying how good and solid these rifles are. And boy, has the tune changed, huh? But I guess that's what happens when the AK world is turned on its ear. Um, I'm not going to get into the whole back in the day when they were $2.99. No, I'm not going to do that. You guys have heard me do it enough, but I just still find it so crazy that what's happened to it. And it's a great thing that it got so popular. I guess not so great if you're collecting or started late, but what are you going to do? I started taking a look around at what's available today because frankly, I haven't touched anything in months now, as far as, checking up on the AK world kind of thing. Anyhow, I go to a FIREARMS group because I used to buy a lot of stuff direct from them, and they were always really good to me. And they've kept like the Vepr pages and stuff open and it says right on there, even though these are sold out, unavailable, can't be imported, we've kept the pages open for posterity or whatever, and for historic value. And I thought, how sad when, I'd go on and, okay, which Vepr? Yeah, that one. Maybe I should, we'll just add that one too. And, you didn't think nothing of it. You're buying different variations, um, the stamp guns and the Veprs. And now they've got SAM underfolders in every color and everything, but there's not much there. I mean, it's not much there to be had, and you got Z-Paps and you got Wassers and a lot of Polar stuff. But the rest of the stuff is, Atlantic guns and US made guns and stuff like that. And look at the whole thing with KUSA. I've read very tiny bits about it. You guys could probably fill me in more about that. But yeah, it's sad. And it's like I got all this stuff and I want to share it and show you guys, but I don't, you don't want to come across as like showing it off. You know what I mean? Especially the stuff that's not available anymore. But people want to learn about it. People want to see it. People want to know what it is. But I feel bad that it's like some of it's like unobtainium for the average guy. And that's all I am and was an average guy paying average prices. And now I couldn't buy my own collection. It's crazy. But since it's been so long, I want to get in the chat here and see what you guys are talking about and who's here. And there's someone specific. I want to see how he's doing. And that's our boy Joe, because I've heard a lot of good stuff, man. Ross is in here. Joe Mercado, good to see you guys. Always good to see Ross. And he says, good to see a video pop up today. Yeah, I'm sorry it was just a 22 video, but hey, everybody's got to have a good 22, right? Hopefully you are at least in before the snow flies. Yeah, no kidding. Pretty soon I'll be out here with the tractor, and I actually put a sweatshirt on because and I figured the camera would be fogging up with the dew. I wish you guys could see the corn back here and the skyline and everything, but I'm literally out in the middle of my field. You know, if I wasn't sitting in a chair and I was standing, I'd be out standing in my field. It's like the second time I've told that joke on this channel. Anyhow, dad joke, right? Let's see. Joe Morgan, end of June, I was shoved in detox, then rehab for drinking a gallon of vodka a day and needle drugs. Now I'm in sober living. Joe, I knew the direction you were going. I could just sense it. And I've been around a lot of people in my life with addiction problems, stuff like that. I used to drink a ton. Me and the neighbors would tear it up, man, 2, 3 nights a week. And I guess I consider myself lucky because I don't know what it was, but one day I woke up and I just didn't feel like drinking anymore. I don't know. And just gone. Now I have a drink, I'll go out to dinner, have a drink, and before I can order a second one, I got such a pounding headache I can't stand it. But um, just some of the comments and where your stuff was going and all, not in a bad way or good way, just middle of the road sort of way. I could kind of tell where you were going. And I read and watched one of your videos, and I'm very, very happy for you. And I've had good friends that went through it. And all I can tell you, like they all say, and I know you've heard it all a million times and probably don't want to hear it anymore, but it's one day at a time, man. That's all it is. And hopefully one day it's not even like front and center, you don't even think about it. It's just is what it is. And that's a that's a hard road to hoe, boy. I mean, gallon of vodka, boy. You're a player, let me tell you. That's some serious drinking, man, in anybody's book. But I'm glad. He said, just got back from doctor. I have fibromyalgia and I'm being further tested for bone cancer, but good news, no HIV or AIDS. That's always a plus. Funny, fibromyalgia. Me and my brother had a friend that went through a bunch of problems and had fibromyalgia, and I don't think he got cancer. Maybe he did later. I don't know. But we all hope the best for you, Joe, man. Hey, it's a huge step just where you're at, man. Haven't been in here in a while. Hope all is well, Chris. Pixel Face Killer. Yeah, all's good, man. It just, I love motorhome living. I've lived full time before, yeah, but it just gets tight, even with just me and the wife and the dogs. Gets tight, and you get on each other, and you just got to keep your cool. It's very stressful, and budgets running over, and all kinds of stuff. Every budget we've had on this house has gone mega over. It's ridiculous, but it'll all work out. But if you haven't been in here in a while, that's because I haven't been here in a long while. I used to sit out on the porch and watch the tornadoes go by. We were lucky one never came in contact. Man, I've had same thing. I had 3 come by our old house. The closest one was probably 500, 700 yards away, something like that. Another one was about half a mile away. Another one leveled an entire town about 8 miles away. But yeah, this one, I don't want anything worse or closer ever. Chase Kelly. Hey, Rock. Great to you too, man. On your journey. It is, man. You're going to find it's, I don't consider that like I had a problem because I don't know. I guess it's how you look at it. Never got shakes or anything from quitting drinking or nothing. Stuff like that. But just anytime you spend too much time doing something like that, it takes away from the rest of your life. And It's much better without it. There's so much things to do, and uh, I don't know, doing it without a hangover. Now, if I could only quit these Red Bulls, I don't know. Anyhow, who else? Who else? Who else? At least before he became homeless, I stashed my guns at Kira's place. She's been out of town since June. She's good. You managed to hold on to him. Joe, there's a lot of programs out there, man. And that's kind of what my wife does. She gets benefits and gets people back into home settings from being in either a healthcare situation like a nursing home or rehab or something like that. So if you need advice or questions on anything, I'm not positive she can answer them, but she may be able to. She deals with X amount of states, and I don't know if yours is one of them, but a lot of them operate the same way. So if you need anything like that, I know you got my email. You just shoot it, man, and I'll get whatever I can to steer you in the right direction, help you out. There's a lot available out there, a ton. We went so far one night. Listen to this, and then we'll get back to guns. My wife had just started in this position, and she had a lady that went in the hospital for a major problem, like heart or something. I don't recall exactly. And she had some minor mental issues. I don't know, but when you're on government programs, they'll either help with housing or pay for you to be at the hospital, but not both. So when she went in the hospital and it was an extended stay, well, guess what? The rent quit getting paid. So everything she owned was gone. Boom, lost the apartment, everything she. So magically, they're going to get her out of the hospital setting because that's costing a ton of money. That's why they have my wife is there to get people back home because that's cheaper, doesn't cost the insurance, right? So her job is essentially saving them money. So they get her a place, they get it subsidized, all that, food, the whole 9 yards. But she doesn't have a stitch of clothing, furniture, a bed, a spoon, a plate, a nothing. So they give my wife, I don't know if it's a state card or insurance credit card. We literally went shopping for this lady and got all the basics she needed, from a bed in a box to pots and pans to food in the fridge and clothing down to underwear, right? And you'd think there's state programs set up to like deliver it. Maybe no. Yours truly is humping this stuff up the stairs of a 8-story building with my wife in the middle of summer, and I'm not complaining. I was kind of glad to do it. It felt good to help somebody like that. But I was just kind of shocked at how the system doesn't think. Like, okay, now she's in here, so all her stuff's gone. She had no family, nobody. So everything's gone. What if she had valuables? Maybe I'm sure she did. Gone. And then they kick her out of there and no place to go. And not even just a hospital gown. That's all she had. I mean, crazy. And then, okay, you're going to buy the stuff, pay for it, but who's going to deliver it? I mean, it's a messed up system, let me tell you. But it works, I guess, at the end of the day. Well, at least in this case it did, because my wife actually gives a shit. But anyhow, there's a lot of programs out there, Joe. If you need help, you let me know and I'll figure it out for you, or try to. I miss my little alcoholic cat too. He cried for 3 days after I got stuffed in detox. Yeah, I had seizures and detox, almost died. Laptop and my phone's dying, guys. You too, Joe. I had a good friend that went into a coma, actually, or maybe they put him in a coma because he was detoxing. And he's lucky to be alive today, and he's still alive. If you guys don't know, alcohol is the only drug that changes you cellularly, and it's also the only drug that detoxing from it can kill you. Heroin, cocaine, all that stuff won't kill you. Alcohol will kill you if you're that deep, that far in. So it's dangerous. Can't do it without medical help. Anyhow, Joe, we're all here for you, buddy. No problem there. All well in the help. But getting back to the M70 thing, I still find it amazing that it was looked upon as such a piece of junk. And today, these rifles are touted as being what they are, And I feel like I do too many videos on that gun, but it's just such a workhorse. And it's cool today because you got the ZPAP, and I got an NPAP, and I got that M70, and I got a couple other OPAP, and it's cool to compare them all back and forth. So can never have too many videos, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna start digging into the old collection and pulling them out randomly and bringing you guys some cool videos. If you just popped in here, we're doing it from outside, mostly because it's a beautiful night, but my wife doesn't, in the motorhome, it's close quarters, and I get loud talking, whatever, and it bugs her, so she can go to sleep, and I'm out here with the tractor in the cornfield, And yeah, it's a beautiful night. It's getting a little chilly, but right where I'm sitting, the deer stand I shot the deer in last year is about 80 yards that way. I can see it right around the corner. And this morning there was a batch of turkeys right over here with 3 little babies, and they walked through. The dogs barked at them. They went over here. Tonight, coming in the driveway, there was 6 or 7 more turkeys, and in the morning I'll have deer tracks going right through here. We've got our cameras out. Got them out late, about 3 weeks ago maybe, and got a bunch of bucks on camera, as many as last year. A couple of big old hogs that I had last year, big heavy horn, not huge racks, but heavy mass to them. I'm not seeing that one guy, and you can tell by his body too. So either he got whacked or neighbor got him or something, but not seeing him. But that huge buck, he's back. I'm seeing him. And funny thing is, they're out of velvet already. Normally they just now maybe start losing their velvet, but they've been out of velvet 2 weeks at least. I think I only got one I saw on camera in the last 2 days that still had velvet. The rest have all been out of velvet for a long time. And that big boy with the super tall tines is coming through regularly, and a nice 10-pointer, big, wide 8-pointer. The only one I'd think about shooting is that tall one, so we'll see. And I'd almost like to give him another year, but everybody's saying how good a growth year it was for antlers this year. So while I'd love to leave them, you think to yourself, well, is the neighbor going to whack them and then next year don't come, that kind of thing? I don't know. But last year I hunted with my NPAP with a 3x primary arms on it. And for a gun season, didn't take a deer in gun season, got that 8-pointer in bow season, and I got the mount back already. It came out really nice, and happy to have it. That'll go in the new YouTube studio room, and we'll be back every week. So we're weeks away, hopefully, from that. By weeks away, I mean probably 8 weeks. And we'll be in. John Crump News is in. What's going on, man? Good to have you in here. For those of you that don't know Mr. Crump, go check out his channel. He's got an awesome channel, a true journalist, reporter. Talks about important things, unlike the stuff we talk about here. I'm just kidding. I mean, we just shoot from the hip here, I like to talk about what you guys are talking about and all that good stuff. Jabroni Mark, rest in peace, Paul Harrell, who passed this evening. Oh, God, that sucks. I loved the video with Paul and who was interviewing him. Damn it. Can't remember who was doing the interview, but it was a great interview. And it was sad to see Paul then because he was looking so gaunt, But you talk about a legend, he's right up there with the best of them. Hickok 45 and all of them. Paul was right there with them. And quirky dude, right? Quirky dude, always had the same, let's say traditional hunting coat, sort of looked almost English gentlemanly like in some of his videos. But yet he was a down to earth guy and a real thinker, thought through everything and tactics and uh, uses of weapons and scenarios and things like that. And his dry humor was truly funny. I got such a kick out of it. And he always had his meat videos where he did the meat and then the jean jacket or whatever, and he'd see what the penetration was. And I'm gonna miss his videos. I really am. And we all knew it was coming. Just you'd never want to see that happen. It's such a shame. But hey, you don't have to worry about all this crap anymore, huh? Maybe he's on the other side helping us. Because boy, oh boy, man, oh man, uh, don't feel like getting political tonight because there's just so much. But definitely over the next week or two, we'll get back into it with all the 2A stuff. Some of it um, seems to have taken back seat, although there's some super important cases that have come through and are coming through. And there's been good news. We've been beating the shit out of them on just about everything. But, you know, the fight isn't over just because it's, not front and center and everybody's concerned with the election. There's still stuff coming through. And hopefully we got some more good news coming shortly here. What do you think's coming up, Mr. Crump? What's the big thing to watch next? Supreme Court going to get us some more answers here? Let's see. What's everybody else saying? Da, 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 da. Yeah, I like watching his John's live streams too. Always good stuff. Always good stuff. Sofa Kingdom Rock. Have you picked up a? No, and I know I missed out on that. I saw a batch come through, and they were loaded too with all the good stuff. And just, dude, money's been flying out the window like you have no idea. I've had to buy a bunch of implements for this tractor to grade driveways and bush hogs to cutting the woods down and different stuff. And we did start building our range. Got a cool thing that we're doing with a neighbor. Got a couple. We finally got our hands on a couple of these big wire spools, and the way you cut them, like the circular top, you cut a quarter of it out on the top layer, and then you build a bench, and it's a perfect shooting bench. And where my neighbor works, right next to him is an electrical place, and they get these spools. So we're going to get a couple, and they're stable as hell because a huge platform, right? And going to try and get at least 2 here for my range, and then on the property between me and my neighbor. The short way we can shoot 300 yards with a berm in the back. And in the seasons when the crops aren't up, we can get a little over 1,000 yards. There's not many places anywhere you can shoot 1,000 yards. So when everything's settled here, and I'm sure there's going to be some takers on wanting to come and meet up and do some videos and shooting 1,000 yards with some who knows what. Might be a whole ton of fun to get a Barrett out here, wouldn't it? Might be cool. Me and a buddy were at a gun show Sunday, and we'll talk about that here real quick. Walking in, they always got the raffles for veterans and all. And my buddy Scrodlip, who you guys have seen in some of the videos, he's just a very good-hearted dude. And I walk up and I hear him say, "Well, give me 7 tickets for 100." And I'm thinking, wow, he's blowing $100. It's a veterans organization. It's a good cause, all that. But being as he's sort of a gun guy, right? He's more of a fisherman, but he likes his guns, and he does that. And the lady says, "Oh, you're going to do 7 for 100? I'll give you an eighth one." And he hands me the eighth one. So I fill out. Maybe we got a Barrett coming. Who knows? Very, very small, low amount of ticket sales. We'll see. Good odds. I hope my buddy wins it because he deserves it. He's a good dude like that. So we go to this gun show, and I had been to it 4 or 5 months ago. It was Jefferson County, Wisconsin, Fairgrounds, and that was the one there where I walked in, and there was just a lot of old AKs. It's just some cool stuff that I was shocked to see. Some Hungarian stuff, and one with all the blue plastic, and just some oddball stuff you don't see. A ton of K98s and a ton of Enfields and all kinds of cool stuff. These old farmers just pull some cool stuff out. And there wasn't the usual stuff. There wasn't a jerky guy and all that crap. A lot of knives, but just a lot of cool guns. So I thought, let's go back. And it ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We didn't get out there till Sunday about 11 o'clock. And we walk in. I always want to start at one side and work the aisles all the way back. I want to see everything, right? And I went not wanting to necessarily buy anything. Matter of fact, at this point, my wife would kill me if I did, because we just finishing this house up and we're trying to keep our mortgage down and paying cash as much as we can for stuff. And you know how it goes. Anyhow, we walk in, and from the get-go, I can tell he's got money in his pocket and is burning a hole in it. "Hey, what do you think of this? Should I?" I'm like, "Paul, that's a Chilean zip gun from 1962. What do you want with it?" He's picking up, this is a 1939 Walther. Look, it's got Nazi markings and from 33, and he only wants $1,300 for it. I'm like, what are you going to do with that? And, well, you're the expert, don't you know? I said, I don't know about 1933 Walthers, or whatever. I said, maybe it is a great deal, but I'm not knowledgeable enough on that particular firearm, and don't have time to look it up and find out what's what. Just come on, just stop. So we're walking, and he drags behind a little bit, and I see this BAR, and he likes classic hunting rifles and bench guns, and he even likes guns that have been converted into bench guns, stuff like that. So I see this BAR, and I like BARs, both 1918s and the sporting versions. But I see this one. It's like a 1968, I think. It's engraved. It was super nice. But it's got this compensator on the end. I think it was called a Boss or something. And I asked the guy that's got it, I said, "What's with this? Is that aftermarket?" He goes, "I've seen them. I don't know." Later, had I done a quick search like I did later, the factory did offer them. And I probably would have steered him toward that. It was just a beautiful gun. The guy was asking 1,200, I think. And the new ones list for 1,600. And this was a Belgian-made gun, and just super nice. And it was in 270, which is the caliber he actually wanted. So I said, "Well, I don't know about that Boss thing on the end." I said, "Let's look around. We can always come back, So he's lagging behind, and I look, and this guy with the Walther pistol's got him cornered, and I see him with his wallet in his hand. And I just happen to look, and there's a brand new BAR in the box, the new one that came out. And I know there's been a wait for them, and they've been hard to get, and all this stuff. And it's in 270. And I'm like, oh man, he's going to love this thing. So, got to stay warm out here somehow. So I quick run over and I grab him, and this vendor's gonna be pissed, right? I'm like, "Hey, Paul, there's a BAR over here, brand new in the box. Come on!" And he's like, "Really?" And he drops the guy in the pistol. Guy's like, "Bastard!" Thought he had a sale. I'm like, "Not ripping my buddy off, you know." So we go over there, and it's the LA receiver. I would have bought the steel receiver, but he likes the LA 270 caliber. He likes, and it's priced at $12.98. And I did a quick look, and everything on Gunbroker everywhere, everything's over that. And I said, "Can you do any better?" He says, "Look, best I can do, I'll knock 50 bucks off, 12.50." Before I could even go any further, my buddy goes, "Sold." Just like I said, itching. And then he's like, "I need a scope for it." And the guy's like, "Well, what do you think of this Vortex?" "Yeah, I'll take that." And "I need one for my AR." "Oh, I'll take that." And I'm like, "Holy cow." He's like, "All right, come on down, do your paperwork." So I'm looking at these binoculars there, and I really wanted a set of binoculars. And but like I said, I wasn't spending any money. So I set them down. Told them, I said, "When you're done with your paperwork, if we're not back, just come find us over here." So we had another friend there too. And we go down looking, and all of a sudden he comes back. He's got his bag of scopes and all this crap and the rifle, because here in Wisconsin, you get your stuff immediately. There's no waiting period, nothing. And he goes, "Here, jackass, happy birthday and happy gunsmithing." He goes, "You're putting all these scopes on." And he bought me the binoculars, which was really nice. And I'm like, "Oh, great. Now I get in trouble because I get home and my wife won't believe me that I didn't buy them, you know?" But anyhow, there were a bunch of Mausers there. There was a guy there with tons, and I mean tons. He must have had 20 um, M1 carbines, all different makers, all different years, and a ton of grands. There was a guy, a private sale, and man, I wish I had the cash for this one. He had a CMP rifle, um, Springfield Armory, with the new stocks they put on. And I said, he's carrying it around out of the case, but he's got the CMP case, and he's just holding it over his shoulder, carrying it with a flag in it. And I said, "You selling that?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Just trying to see what I can get or what I could trade for or anything cool." I'm like, "Well, what do you want for it?" He's like, $850. I'm like, "That's a good deal, guys, for any decent um, M1 Grand." I don't care. I don't even know what grade it was. I didn't even look that close at 850, but I didn't even want to get excuse me, involved, because I just knew I couldn't spend the money. So, but that would have been a hell of a deal for somebody. CMP case, he had just gotten it. And I don't know, maybe one of these guys that just gets them and then tries to make some money on them or something. I don't know. Anyhow, there was a ton of grands, ton of M1 carbines. As far as AKs, bunch of NPAPs, some Visca. There was a Visca pistol, a couple of Visca rifles. I ran into one Mac 90, and it was still in the thumbhole stock. Had the muzzle device tack welded and all. And the guy was only asking $850. I thought, that's a pretty damn good deal. I mean, yeah, back in the day, that's not such a great deal, but today, pretty good deal. I didn't look if it was slant cut, and I was waiting to ask him if he knew if it was slant or straight, but he was busy with somebody. And again, when you go to these, there's some guns you just wish you had the money with you, and just I think I would have bought that Grand for sure. I probably would have bought one. Oh, there was another Mac 90. And that one, I think he was asking $950 for, and they're going to negotiate from there. So the prices seem to have dropped a bit from what I was seeing before. There was a Sam 7 there, used. Didn't pay much attention to what it was. No Polish guns, no Hungarian. The Mauser guy wasn't there, but there was a guy with a couple K98s, but they weren't. One was a shooter, a little messed up. A couple Enfields, but again, pretty rough guns for the most part. Trying to think what else. A lot of nice Smith pistols. There was a duplicate to my service revolver, 686, about the same model year, pre-lock and all that. And they were asking $1,200 for that, or $1,100. which kind of shocked me. I'm like, wow, $1,100, damn. I think I paid for that gun 400, maybe new, back in 1989. What else? What else? Lots of Thompson Center black powder guns. And in case you guys didn't hear, Thompson Center is reopening and bringing out their stuff. They picked up all the parts, barrels, all the stuff that was in storage from Smith & Wesson that owned them, I guess. And a lot of stuff that was in progress and all numbered perfect so they can start up all the machinery, everything. And the guy that's doing it is like the old CEO or vice president. So it's going to be the real deal and back in business as good as ever. So that's really cool because Thompson Center, think about it, the Contender. How about that little Scout rifle black powder? I found out those were kind of worth something and kind of rare. And my son had one that now I have. Should be the other way around, shouldn't it? That's just weird to say every time, but I've got that now. We'll have to show you guys that because I haven't shot it. It's the one gun of his that I've never shot, but maybe we'll bring you a video on that because maybe I'll hunt black powder this year. They're kind of neat. They look like a lever action. They're short, but they're not breech loading. You still ram it and everything. It's got a leather sling. Looks like something like an Indian scout would carry or something back in the day. Just a neat little rifle. And they made a matching pistol too, which would be kind of cool to have. And I think his is a 45 caliber, maybe. Might be a 50, but I think it's a 45. But yeah, Thompson Center's back. But all in all, the gun show was pretty cool. There was not a ton of powder out there. A lot of primers to be had, a lot of brass to be had, a lot of bullets. Some guys with some great deals on dies for reloading. Plenty of ammo everywhere. And for gun show prices, they were decent. That's the one thing I can say about this gun show, that prices have been comparatively good compared to some of the ones I used to go to down in Illinois, where things were just ridiculous. But I didn't see a lot of bulk ammo like we used to see. What else was cool that I saw? It's always a magazine guy, with magazines for everything under the sun. And I've been looking for a couple mags for a Tech 9. Got a video half filmed on the Tech 9 for you guys if you'd be interested. Original Tech 9, and let's just say the serial number is 3 digits. Let's say under 400. How's that sound? One of the originals. Broken, a couple springs broken, but got those and got it fixed up, and we'll bring you a video on that. Interesting gun. It's one of the few little sub guns like that is light enough you can actually shoot like a pistol, without it weighing too much. We've been shooting Uzi quite a bit, having some fun with that, and my one Scorpion. Slowly, I've been, just bored, so I'll take a trip here and there to storage, and I'll put a few back and take a few more and do some shooting, that kind of thing. As we get closer to deer season now, I kind of lay off on the shooting here, but you can go over to the gun club. It's not too far from here and do some shooting there. But God, I just love those Scorpions so much. Just a ton of fun. What have you guys been doing? Who's gotten what new? Anything new have you gotten your hands on? Let's see. Let's go back to some of the comments here. How many people we got in this thing? Wow. Thank you guys so much. I mean, we're not a big channel, although I think when I started this thing, we were not even 3,000 people. And we're pushing 9 now, which I should have been at that long time ago. But with the hiatus, my son passing, my dad passing, the move, it's just been one chaos thing after another. But cool. But let's see. Sofa, no, I have not gotten a barrel, and I'm so pissed off. What I've heard, they're no longer producing or importing barrel rifles, so when they're gone, they're gone. All right. Well, I got a birthday coming up, so we'll see. Yeah, 850 for a grand is a great price. I hadn't seen a grand under $1,000, and most nice ones were in the 1200, 1250 range and up. So that was a good price. Is there a ban on importing a barrel? No, there's not. Wish me luck. I'm going to try and build my first AK this winter. Picked up parts kit. Cool. You have fun. If you need any help or any advice, let me know. Just get the right tools. If you guys want advice on what tools to buy and use for building a kit gun, we can do a live stream on that, or I can go through and do a video on it. I found myself another Vepr rifle, fine import. What'd you get? Did you get a God, I'm drawing a blank. The what do you call it on the Vepr? The model that's done like an AK, not the wooden stock, like a 308 or something. What'd you get? Seems like that's all anybody finds anymore. And there's a lot of those still available out there, but it's always good to find any Vepr. Yeah, no ban on that. How are they not making them? Come on, 308. How did I know? Yeah, the 11. Exactly. So what do we got coming? So my man cave / gun room is probably, I'm guesstimating here, guys, 40 to 50 feet long and 25 feet deep. And then a separate little vault room too. But I'm gonna have mounts. I'm gonna have the gun wall with all the stuff. I'm gonna have a desk in there set up for videos, a sofa, big screen, all kinds of cool stuff, and just my little hideaway where everything's safe. And it's cool. I just heard some type of wildlife down here making some noise. Wouldn't that be something? So right here on the property, we've got lots of deer, and lots of nice bucks. It's just, it's a neat little area in ag country where most of the property we own is this top of this ridge that travels several miles. And it's the only, I won't say the only, but the only larger batch of woods in the whole area, right? And it's this ridge, and the deer just run it up and down. And it's all privately owned, except a very small portion, and it's zoned conservancy. But it's not conservancy like you think. It basically means Ag 1, but it can't be subdivided. A minimum is like 30 acres or something. And it's just an area where it's allowed big bucks and lots of them to congregate and live to ripe old ages. And the people hunting it are fairly selective, at least the ones I've met. And it's a rarity today, so everything's so chopped up, or the farmers, cut everything right to the property line. They don't even leave room for a fence, and so, and the cover in it is so thick, it's great for bedding, and it holds these big old bucks because they know they're safe. It's a half mile to that road, and it's probably 3/4 to a mile to that road. So they can travel over a mile through woods and fields without hitting a road or anyone or a house. I'm the only house half mile that way, mile or more that way, that they have to contend with. And the next house that way is at least half a mile. And the next house that way, there's 1.5 mile up by the road and half mile down, but there's nothing for a solid mile they're all up by the road. So there's nothing for 3 miles. they're protected. There's nothing that can bother them back here. Coyotes, maybe, but the neighbor keeps those at bay, and I'm going to help them this year. I just saw something neat. Josh, any thoughts on the limited edition Sam 7K? The K bar was selling for a bit. I believe Sam K25 is what they were calling it. So when Sam 7Ks, meaning the pistols, came out, they weren't bringing much attention. Nobody was paying attention to them. And then Misha did a video, a plane going overhead, small private plane. Misha did a video talking about they had been doing it a certain way, and then all of a sudden they changed it up. And the point of the video was Arsenal finally did it the right way, because the early ones that came out, and look at my video if you want the numbers, like you're saying K25, there was like 99, I can't remember. But the original ones had just a flat backplate on the receiver. And if you wanted to add a brace or anything, you had to drill it. And then the barrel was not the right length. It was a longer barrel, and it looked like it had a compensator on it, the cone one, but it wasn't. It was slid over the barrel and then pinned. So it was phony. So what you'd have to do on those to make them legit is unpin them, slide that thing off, have a gunsmith cut the barrel, get the different front sight block, and recrown the barrel and all that, and then drill a hole in either SBR it with a stock, or put on a pick rail, or bolt something in to put on a brace. And then all of a sudden Arsenal started producing them the right way, where it had the right front sight block, came with just a muzzle nut, and it had a little pick rail put on the back that bolted through. So you unbolted that and got the right folding stock. Check out my video on mine, but that was the right one. Now, lately these special editions, like the one was, the barrel is concentric and it's tested to be concentric so you can suppress it. Great. That makes it special edition. To me, that makes it passing QC, I give KVAR and Arsenal and Fime Group and all that credit, because they can come up with more fakakta ideas on how to market stuff. Let's take a beautiful underfolder and paint it to cheesy gray, or plum. Oh my God, that's a hideous rifle. Hopefully I'm not offending anyone here. But why would you do that? They used to make the classic and put the blonde wood on it. That was cool. But I just want a black Sam 7 underfolder at a decent price. Back at when they were $900 to $1,200, not $2,000. And that's the only one I'm missing from my collection. But yeah, you get yourself a 4-piece flash hider on that K model, and get yourself a nice brace or stock on there, and SBR it or don't SBR it, and one of the coolest weapons ever. We'll have to pull that one out for video too. You guys will like it, but go back and check out the video, and I'll bring you another one on it. Yeah, 4711 was the number on those Beppers. That's the one you wanted. Side folder and fixed. Got them both. Weird thing about my Veppers is my side folder shoots very nice. My fixed stock, I get a lot of gas blowing back in my face through the dust cover for some reason on it. I don't know why. And I shoot them, they both got ALG triggers in them. Don't worry, I got the original trigger pack saved and everything. And I've got Russian wood on my fixed stock, a Russian stock, and a Russian RPK handguard, and yeah, Russian pistol grip. Looks like it should. It's just cool. But I got all the black plastic, and to see them back in the black U.S. polymer. Somehow it does me well to see them that way. So maybe I'll change them out. It's just so damn hard to get that Russian stock out of there. My God, you ever try to get a stock out of a imported gun with a real stock? Man, oh man, they are fitted well. Let me tell you. But and in that case, you got to fit them. You got to do a little fitting because the wider receiver, um, it leaves a weird gap. So you got to do a little fitting to make it look right. But could put a club foot on it, but I don't know. I like it with the regular stock. It's cool. And man, yeah, we haven't shot any of that stuff in a while. We got to just bring some videos out and talk about some of the values and what they've done. Went crazy. But yeah, if you don't have a Sam 7K, special edition or not, as long as it doesn't have the slide over, which I doubt they'd ever do that again, grab one because they're good. I grabbed one right before they vanished, and then the prices just shot to the moon. That was only a couple years ago, and I got my 4-piece original Bulgarian flash hider, not the copy from CNC Warrior, which is still a good copy. They chrome line it and everything, but I got the original one for $100. Now they're like 400. I should have bought like 7 of them, and I bought 3, I think. But yeah, just crazy. That's the brace you want to put on it too. Get their folding tubular brace from CNC Warrior. Super, super nice. Makes that gun look awesome. You'll see it in the video. Really, really cool. Yeah. Anybody else buy anything cool? God damn it. I knew this Baril thing would happen, and I've been only talking about it for 2 years, but you know, when you're in a position to not just toss a bunch of money, you know what? I got a ton of crap I could sell that I don't care about. And maybe I'll throw on consignment at the local shop here and order me one up. Because once you miss it, you miss it. Like I always tell you guys, if you want something, buy it. Because it's going away at some point. Whether it's banned, whether they don't make them anymore, whether whatever, you know. And then you're sitting there whining, and it's your own fault. Like me, I'm whining right now. Love dogs. I'm usually an idiot, but I acquired a Vepr 4711 and a 7411 and the Vepr 12. I got a Vepr 12. And did a long video on getting those things to run light shells. If you're trying to run light shells for like 3-gun or something, which was my plan, I tricked that thing out and I got that thing running so good. That gun's amazing. Now they're asking a gazillion. I see Veprs asking $6,000. I mean, it's crazy. I think you get $4,000 all day long for one. I wish I would have bought a 74. If I could get one at a decent price, I'd buy one now. But I just didn't want to hassle. I have one gun put away that's 74, and it's the right one. Yes, sirree, Bob. Arsenal. And that one is in the wrapper, never been fired. Found me an SKS. Oh, that's the other thing. With Arctic birch stock, beautiful gun, no regrets. You've probably seen mine in the video. I did a SKS video on the Chinese, Yugoslavian, and Russian. And mine's Arctic birch, finished with the what I call the pine tar finish. And after doing a lot of research and studying, I think I'm right on that. And it's not just my idea of where that finish came from. What people like to call the traditional Russian red, which is overdone today. You know, that color on the tractor behind me, that's what people think is Russian red, it seems lately. Even Zastava, it's like, geez, holy cow, dude, that's fucking red. But the way they came up with it, and you can buy a product that is the exact thing, but if you guys have heard me say this before, just say shut up, Chris, we've already heard it. But how they came up with it, the Russians were not ones to waste anything, right? So they would um, use everything and anything they could that made sense. Well, in the oh, thought I heard something. It's my wife at the window in the bedroom there. She's going, no, yeah, right. Shutting the light off and closing the shade. Anyhow, up in the gulag, up in Siberia in the Great White North, they were burning pine to heat the factories and heat the housing and whatever. And there's a reason most people now, or at least this far south, don't think you should burn pine because you get so much creosote and you'll have a chimney fire and yada yada. Well, they didn't care. They burnt what they had, and uh, all that creosote, when they'd clean it out, was literal pine tar pitch. And they would mix it down with either usually like a kerosene or something. I think a lot of it was not shellac, or they used both. They may have even colored the shellac with it, but that pitch is black, black, black. But when you thin it down, it's got that beautiful red. And in the Arctic birch, it brings out that flaming. That's exactly what it is. It's pine tar pitch, guaranteed, guaranteed. Talked to a lot of other people about it, and everybody is kind of on the same page with it. So if you got one, they're beautiful. I love looking. The camera never does it justice, because when I get it to catch the right light, you see fingerprints or something, you know. But one of these days, I'm on Instagram. I have a beautiful picture of just that rifle, and I caught it just the right way. And there's nothing like Arctic birch on a Russian SKS with that pine pitch um, shellac. It's just the most gorgeous thing ever. And good shooting gun too. Great gun, beautifully finished. Neat gun. Enjoy it. At that same gun show, they had at least two Chinese SKSs there, and both of them beautiful. Absolutely mint, like um, probably straight from the arsenal, never shot. Gorgeous blonde wood. Although one had a blade bayonet, if I'm not mistaken. And you don't see too many of those. Most were the spikers, you know. At least mine is. But they had two of them, and one was 650, one was 750. Again, yes, a lot of money for an SKS, but in today's market and inflation and all that, didn't seem too bad. If somebody was looking for one, I think that'd be a fair price. So they had at least two. There might have been three, but got one already. Got a perfect example, so why bother? Josh, CNC Warrior braces are legit. Yes, they are, my man. Finally got my hands on the Mosin 1943 Izzy, all matching. Came with a bayonet. Took it to the range last week. Through though, and red shellac was bubbling. Dude, half of them out of the box were bubbling because they're dry. You got to be careful. Test it, but you can take denatured alcohol and dampen a rag and just smooth it, or lay it on there and let it soften it a little bit, or take just a drop on your finger and put on there and just rub. It'll dissolve it back down, and you can work it flat and it'll rejuvenate it. Or you can touch it up with mixing your own custom shellac. Watch my shellacking videos. They're some of the first ones I did. I've literally colored shellac for Mosins with red Kool-Aid. I'm not kidding you. You can use Kool-Aid, RIT dye, although only certain types of RIT dye. You can use, they sell woodworking shops, shellac colorant, but I was working from home, and when I'm mixing it, it's like, oh, it's wrong. It's wrong. I need something. Red food coloring does it, man. Even food coloring will do it. You can come up with all kinds of things. And I'm talking Kool-Aid, the little packets, not the ones with sugar, you know, just doing it for the red coloring. But if you watch my shellac videos, I had kind of a little side hustle for a while where I was doing stocks and furniture. I still got a bunch of Romanian sets that I'd done up for sale, and then I just dropped it, and they're still sitting wrapped, ready to ship. That I was doing for people. One guy ordered wanted a brown set, like almost a walnut or a gunstock color. It came out beautiful. That's back when, Romanian furniture and dongs were dirt cheap, and got them for $2 a piece. But if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I give you a lot of secrets in there of how to get a good shellac finish. And most of it is allowing it to dry well enough to where it's not tacky, and then steel wool in between each coat. And mine are done. I've got an M44 done so well that it's like a showpiece. It's not authentic in the least. The color is, but just the perfect finish is not right. But if you like that thing, which I do, that's why I wanted it that way. I have some M44s regular. I wanted this one, my shooter, done like this, and I did that in a Russian red. And I also did an M38 and a 9130. So I have those 3 shooters that the stocks are done beautifully. I'll bring you some videos. I scratched the one, I dinged it real good. I took a chunk out of it, actually. Kind of pisses me off. You'll see it in there, though. But things like glass, it's like a brand new old school 870 Wingmaster almost. The wood's so perfect. Came out gorgeous. But yeah, if you want tips on that, go watch those videos. If you still want more and you got questions, just ask. I can walk you through. If you want a battlefield finish, I can tell you how to do that too. Mine I did where I took out a lot of the surface stuff, but the bigger dings and stuff that were put there from legit wear, battlefield stuff, I left in, but we fill them to where the surface is smooth, but you can still see the dings and dents, cartouches, stuff like that. So it's a neat way of doing it that not a lot of people do. It takes a lot of time, but it comes out really well. So again, if you're interested, can go back and rejuvenate a lot. A lot of this stuff was videos before we even had the viewers we have now. So I don't think a lot of people saw them. I don't think the algorithm pushes it, Have to do a few searches and see what pops up. If you guys are interested and you look, let me know if those videos are popping up in search results. I'd be curious. Maybe we'll run another video on it. Maybe I'll do one on do a whole video where I do a set. One of them, I think the one in the video, a guy actually sent me, and I did the video on doing his set. It's cool you got a 43, though. I take it it's a 9130, not a M44 or M38 or something. That was the thing. We were, back when I was getting all the Mosins and had my choice, I could go through the storeroom and pick all the best ones. Everything coming to this neck of the woods was Izzy. Tulas here were so rare. And I talked to other guys, and all they were getting was Tulas. I'm like, damn it, I just want one Tula, Finally, we started getting some Tulas in, and I got an ex-sniper Tula that's really nice. I just wanted one with the star, And, yeah. So most everything I have, I got a lot of Izzy's. But nothing wrong with that. Squeaky Cooler made it in. Good to see you, Squeak. Glad you're here. You guys like it better on Tuesday night or Wednesday nights? Let me know. Because I can do either. Tuesday seems better for me a lot lately. I don't know. Wednesday, my day's off switch, so I'm not off Wednesdays now, and it's just harder. Yeah, check them out if you're interested. I'm glad somebody watched them. I bought an M44 this year, very cheap. It's all numbers matching. 1940. Let me guess, 44? I can't see it because it's hidden behind this stupid thing. Somebody else has to comment, so it moves up and I can see. Oh, yours says 43. That's kind of, most were for every, God, so many I saw were all 44, 44, 44, 44. One of the 50,000 made in 43 pre-production. Yeah. Very rare gun. I got a Romanian one laying around somewhere. Yeah, that's a pretty rare gun. I get a kick out of, and I'm not saying this yours because it's the pre-production, but I get a kick out of Mosin collectors today. As you most know, if you've just gotten in it, even in the last 10 years, it's way late to the game because these guns were 20 years ago coming in, you know, and that's when I was buying them. And back then we knew because we saw it and said you saw them coming in, you know, you were buying them over the counter from the dealers right out of the box. You weren't buying them on the secondary market and stuff. All Mosins came over the counter as numbers matching. Okay. Some of you are going, oh no, that's not true. Yes, it is, because if they weren't matched, they either ground out the old one and restamped the new one, or they electropenciled it. So every single one is, and not in reality, but technically numbers matching, but they're not, if you know what I mean. The only way, and I don't know if there's a Mosin on earth all numbers matching that can be proved. And you'll see it. Look where your serial number is. You'll see old ones ground off, or a grind area near there. You'll see new numbers punched in, stamped in a slightly different font, or off kilter, this and that, or you'll see electropenciling. So everybody selling one says, oh, numbers matching. They were all numbers matching. Just force matched is what they call it. I'm not going to say there aren't any out there. There are, but the vast, vast, vast majority were force matched. Because think about it. Those guns, that model is the longest serving battle rifle in the history of the world. It's served more years than any other military rifle from any country to this day in existence, period. Kind of makes it cool. There were also bazillions of them made. And yes, you can go way back, to 1891 and start from there and whatever. And yes, the newer ones are newer, but all of them have fought in at least one war, and most multiple. They've been carried for hundreds, if not thousands of miles. They've been carried by God knows how many soldiers, maybe one battle. It was shot by 3-4 guys, right? Because they'd hand them ammunition, they'd run in, grab a rifle off a dead guy, and go. In downtime, they were stripped down, all the parts thrown in a can of kerosene and sat there for a few hours, and then they just reach in and grab one and brush it off and throw it in a rifle. They were mismatched 2 weeks after they were issued. You know, they fought in World War I. They fought in World War II. They fought in Korea. They sent them all over the world. They fought in Vietnam. These rifles were everywhere, in every battle on every continent. To say that I'm sure there's some somewhere, but man, come on. They didn't care much about head spacing as long as they could close the bolt. But the big thing back in the day on the forums, and I'm talking 20 years ago, guys would be closing and opening their bolts with a rubber mallet. Bam, 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 bam. And everybody'd be blaming it on lacquer ammo. Yeah, it heats up the lacquer, and then in a blink of an eye, it hardens up and locks up the bolt, and I got to open mine with a rubber mallet. And then the local genius would come on the forum and tell them that it's all about cleaning your chamber. You haven't cleaned your chamber well enough. And the guy's like, well, I scrubbed it and I cleaned it. Do it 7 more times. There's still stuff in there. And most likely there was some, and it could be the case, and it freed up a lot of them. Or it was cosmoline just caked in there from being in an arsenal for 50 years or whatever. But a lot of times it was, even though they were re-arsenaled, they probably weren't re-headspaced. And the headspace is just off in these damn things. So make sure you check them. I've never seen one blow up, probably because they're made of barrels thick enough to be cannons and that type of thing. But I've checked numerous rifles. They came right out of the box from our guns, from Century, from you name the importer that's stamped on there somewhere, and headspace was off right out of. Those are bugs flying back there. I started to tell you when I heard the wildlife down here. So we got lots of deer, big ones, small ones, and everything in between. In my opinion, an inordinate amount of bucks, more than I've ever had on any property I've hunted before or owned, or not just like public property, but private property I've hunted. A lot of bucks. We've got turkeys galore. They're almost like rats. There's so many of them. We've got squirrels. This year a ton of rabbits. Next year it's going to be a fantastic coyote year. They always flip-flop. You got a great rabbit year, then the next year no rabbits, lots of coyotes. Then the next year lots of rabbits, no coyotes. Every other year it switches. If you see a lot of rabbits, you're going to have the next year is going to be a gangbuster coyote year. I got one on camera already, and my neighbor's got one. I hear them howling out here all the time. I'm surprised they're not howling tonight. We have, what are those cranes? Sandhill cranes, tons of them. Tonight, out at the edge of the field, there were like 8 or 10 of them out there. Every type of bird and hawk and all of that stuff. We have bear, even this far south. There was one next road that parallels us up about a mile or so. Not too long ago, there's a neighbor had a bear up there. So there are bears out here. There are not a lot of them like up north. But I bet it's similar to how it was at our place up north about 10, 15 years ago, where occasional sighting, and now they're everywhere up there. It's my second year now applying for a bear permit, so it'll be a couple years till I get one, but I end up getting a bear permit, probably another 2-3 years. So we'll see. I doubt we'll have enough down here to hunt. I'll have to go up there, but yeah, deer, bear, turkeys, anything you want to hunt, it's here. That tornado I was talking about took out a huge pheasant farm in a town, I don't know, 30 miles west of here, that supplied most of the hunt clubs in Wisconsin and even northern Illinois. And the next day or two, they rounded up a bunch of them, but thousands and thousands got away. And now they can't bring them back in because for fear of disease or something, I heard. So they're just out in population. It would be really cool if enough of them made it to where you started building a population again, because wild birds just don't exist anymore in northern Illinois, Wisconsin. I thought about getting a bunch of smaller ones, raising them up and letting 100 go here or something and see if you can't keep them up. But we got so many raccoons. It's the best way to get rid of raccoons, guys. Do you just hunt them or trap them or what? I mean, I'm not someone that's going to go skinning out a bunch of raccoons, and I feel bad wasting them, but I suppose I could relocate them, live trap them, and relocate them or something. Have to look up the laws, but we'll see. Assume you're back on. Mark from Madison. Yeah, we are back on. I'm hoping it stays weekly, but we've had just so busy. House is wrapping up here in the next 60 days or so, hopefully. Just had a little time. We're outside, actually. Cornfield behind us, tractors behind us, side by sides here. Just a nice night. Thought we'd do it out here. Oh man, look at that! A super chat from Sofa King 27, $20. Appreciate your videos. I got to work early. I'll watch the rest of the AM. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated. Needless to say, because of the lack of my work videos and just algorithms and all, I don't think I've gotten paid from YouTube in 4 months. I think I just got paid after 4 months. So it's ridiculous, but it's certainly appreciated, and it will go to getting things ripping and roaring here again. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's certainly got enough space to do it, and so many cool things. If you guys want to see deer hunting videos, we'll do them. Like I said, I hunted gun season with my AK. There's no mag restriction for hunting, which is weird. At least I couldn't find it. But just in case, I hunted with a 5-round mag, just in case. But used our NPAP with our 3-power Prism primary arm scope and our cheese grater dust cover and TDI arms, billet handguard, and our Fab Defense stock. Great gun, 30-30. Very similar ballistics to 7.62 by 39 is very similar. I won't say the same. There are some major differences in some respects, but it is a great hunting cartridge. If you're under 100 yards, why not? It'll take a deer down flat. Boom. Another super chat from Mark M 999. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. As always, guys, never did this channel to make money, but it certainly helps because it does cost a lot of money. Just ammo. We shot, and when we're going hot and heavy on the AKs, it's nothing to burn a case of ammo a day, but to bring you all the stuff, we're not sponsored by anybody. Nobody sends me free guns. It's all on us. So we put it all back into the channel, and we certainly appreciate it. Thank you. And we appreciate it. What else do we got here? Squeaky, all the best with everything on your property. Everything right, definitely a process. Yeah, it is a process. The outside, though, is the most fun. And what I'm really learning about is building habitat for these deer and these animals. And I won't say little things, but it is little things that take a lot of work to improve it and keep the wildlife healthy and keep them on your property and keep them coming back, from food plots to, the way you do your forestry and plant your crops and everything. But I'm glad to see that the deer are still around. The construction didn't throw them off much, changed their patterns a little, but they're still here. So it's only going to get better, I guess, from here. I was so scared I was going to have nothing on my cameras when I put them out, but we're getting them. And we'll bring you some cool videos, too. We'll have to bring you some pics of the mount that I got back. I took it up north for now till the house is finished and we get everything in. It is running late, guys. I'm an hour and a half in. So cool to talk about the Mosins. Hope you glean a few little things here and there. Hope you don't think I'm full of shit on some of this stuff, but I was there 20 years ago when they were coming over the counter, when the shop would have 8 of them on the back rack and 50 more in the storeroom, and we saw them coming in from everywhere. There's been a lot of internet poo-poo thrown out there over the last 20 years that unfortunately some people are starting to believe now. Not all of it wrong, but just some of it not right. And a lot of the guys that were hot and heavy into collecting them then were already older then. And now, some of them could be 70s and 80s now, and they're just not online as much or don't remember it maybe. I mean, some of it, I think you get to a certain point in your life where you only get so much hard disk space, and when you put more in, the other stuff goes out. You're writing over it, sort of. But yeah, you guys coming in here making this a good night. A bunch of people. Last time I did it, I had like 2 or 3 people in here, and I'm like, man, I blew it. We waited too long to get going again. and nobody's interested. Nobody showed up, and it's good to see. I think we had over 20 people, which is by no means a lot, but it's good for not doing one in how long. And we put that video out today on the 22. Get you a couple out here quick. I'll finish the rest up on them. I got 3 waiting to go that I just got to film an ending on. So maybe Sunday we'll get those done, or after work one of these days, and maybe we'll do a little walkthrough on what we're dealing with the trees blown down from the tornado and stuff, and all kinds of stuff we got to bring you. So if you're interested in more than guns, and interested in maybe one day getting your own little piece of land and moths, doing something, a lot to learn. I'm learning as I go, so it's a ton of fun. I'm enjoying it, and it's only going to get better when we have some semblance of normalcy. Right now, if it rains, you walk out and it's just mud. My truck is demolished. First thing I'm doing is pulling my truck in my new garage and detailing it and buffing it. I mean, everything I own is just covered in mud, and I don't even care anymore. It's like once you live in it long enough, it's normal. I guess it's kind of like guys being in combat somewhere. After a while, the dirt and the crap don't matter anymore. It just is what it is, right? I'm not comparing it to that. I'm just saying it's the same type of feeling, It's like a mud race and motocross. Once you're muddy and wet and crap everywhere, you don't care anymore. It's just how it is for the day, except this is months. We're over a year now like this. By the end of it, we'll probably be a year and 4 months, something like that. 16 months living out of a 38-foot space, gets old after a while, and I miss my toys. So we got enough pulled out that we'll run a couple videos, but I was hoping the view would be a little better here tonight, that you'd see the cornfield behind us and the sunset and whatnot. But there's the old tractor, and it's come in handy. Without that, I couldn't have cleared any of these trees, nothing. But it's doing its job. We'll upgrade it at some point when we can afford it, but it's certainly been a saving grace. But appreciate the super chats, guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. And you guys motivate me to get back in this thing and have some fun. It's good to see some people close, somebody in Madison and all. And who knows, one day maybe we get together and do a little shooting or something. Ross, glad to see you tonight. Chris, you know me. I love guns, knives, country woods, hunting, prepping, homestead. Yeah. Well, can only talk so much about one platform. And people that are into one thing are usually into the others too. It all goes hand in hand. Any experience with an Arsenal 107 CR? I think I might. Yeah, very cool, very cool. I love Arsenal 107 series. I love them. I've got a 107 R, which is fixed stock with the rail. I've got a 107 FR, which is folding rail. I've got 2 of those. Those I love. One has a triangle stock, lightest, handiest gun. The CR is cool. That's got the longer barrel. It's set up basically like a Draco, and that thing's just begging to be SBR'd and cut down. I'd grab it. That's a cool gun, man. Yeah, why not? Shoot it like it is, or SBR it, The FRs, I know. I can't believe it. I was buying those things for $6.99, $7.99, something like that. And no, so many guys like the SAMs better. I still like the FRs better, the 107s. That's my gun. I love those guns. Love them, love them, love them. Can't go wrong with any 107. Grab it. Grab it, grab it, grab it. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Now that things are moving faster, there's a couple guns I want to SBR, and I can do suppressors now. Barrel and suppressor. That's on my list. That's what I want to do. Anyhow, Sam's pistol grip looks weird to me. Yeah, it does to me too. I thought I got FR on the brain. I'm like, Sam's like, what did you do? Put a Sam pistol? Yeah, they do look a little weird, right? Gotta go with the original, man. And that's what I love about I'll always like stamped guns better than milled guns. I got lots of SAMs. Nice gun, like them. Do I think they're any smoother than a stamp gun? Not a good one, no. I think I've got stamp guns that are smoother than my SAMs, mostly because they got so many goddamn rounds through them. But I just like a stamped gun. To me, that's the quintessential AK, is a stamped gun. But I love them all. I like milled, I like stamped. I love my Bulgarian guns. I love my Yugo guns. I love my Romanian guns. You love them, gotta love them all, right? What's not to like? All the changes and differences, that's what's cool about it. That's what was cool about Mosins, that was a poor man's way of getting into it, and that's what got me into it. I bought Mosins, $69, $79, $89, $99. You're out of your mind. Never pay more than that. And then it was on to SKSs, and then it was on to AKs. And man, what a bunch of fun, and what a bunch of great learning, and so much to talk about. Milled Chinese spikers are the best looking milled. Good looking. I have one Chinese gun, one only, and it is the unicorn of Chinese guns, I'm happy to say, but I would like a spiker. Yeah, that'd be cool. A lot of made up spikers running around too. That was all the rage for so long, Yeah, but I don't have $4,000, no shit, right? But it seems like any of the good fun stuff is $4,000 now. And everyone says, oh, well, you got lucky and you got in early and you got this, but I'm never going to sell them. So it's not worth the money. When I'm gone, my wife can do what she wants with them. She'll be well taken care of. But anyhow, variety is the spice of life. You got it, Squeak. Anyhow, guys, thanks so much for coming. You gave me a good boost tonight. I almost wasn't going to do this. I was going to put it off, but I said in the video I'd do it, so I did it, and I'm glad. And then my wife said, you got to go outside. She goes, I was only kidding. I'm like, no, that was a good idea, actually. It's kind of cool. Maybe I'll do it a little earlier. If we had done it earlier, a couple of weeks when it was light to almost 9, you'd have a great sunset and everything. It'd be cool. You guys are trying to keep me here, aren't you? FB Radom Burrell 556 and 762. Tastes great and less filling. Got them both. The one to have, I guess, is the 556 though. In that, right? That's the military. That would see. I'm. What do they call that? Paralysis. Something paralysis, where you can't make up your mind, so you do nothing. 762 is cool. Fits with everything I do, but I want what the Polish military used, and I believe that's the 556, correct? Yeah, so it's got to be that gun. Why not? I got enough 762 guns. So are there any 556 rifles out there still? I guess I can always find the accessories, just got to get the rifle. I wanted to buy it all done though, with the stock and the rail. That's the hard part, I guess. Got to have the rail. That's what makes it cool. So, man, I got to find one. Maybe I will start working on that. Oh, I was telling you guys about the binoculars. So real quick before we go, I'll bring you the details next week. But this is what I've hunted with, used forever, these shit little pair of Bushnells, right? Because they fit easy in your pocket and everything. You don't even know they're there. I put them in a cargo pants pocket when I'm hunting. Bottom line is, though, you can't see shit out of them, right? Because it's blurry. The glass is shit. In comes Vortex Diamondbacks. You wouldn't believe what these things weigh. You can tell their quality by the weight. And if you guys don't know, I'll go into it. But there's a way to set your binoculars up. And first you cover the right side, and then you adjust this, and then you cover the left side, and then you adjust the diopter, and then bring them to where they are, and they're perfect. These are 10 by 42s. New, they're like 280 something, and I got them at that gun show, brand new in the box, still sealed up for 180. My buddy bought them for me as a gift, and I was out testing them long distance today. They are crystal. And the cool thing is, they come with the chest pack, and for bow hunting, you got to have it. And it's no magnets that can click, silent. I can unhitch it, boom, and there's tethers that mount. So if I got a deer coming in, I don't have to put it back in. I can just drop them and pull. You got to have a chest pack with binoculars when you're bow hunting. Have to. It's terrible hunting without it. You can't, deer's coming in quick and you're trying to say, is that him? Is that the one I want? And without binoculars, you can't tell in time. And when they get close enough, you're concentrating on the shot and drawing and all, and you're not sure if it's the buck you wanted. It's kind of what happened to me with that 8-pointer last year. I thought it was the big one, and he was coming so fast, I didn't have any time. And when it's moving that fast and your heart rate's going, it's going down. So anyhow, nice to have that rounds things out. And tactically, got to have a good set of binoculars. I can see what a difference. I think the guy that goes and spends $30-$40, yeah, these are okay for whatever. But when you really need it, you can't make out the detail. It's foggy, the edges, the light. It doesn't take in enough light because at dusk. To go from $40 to $200 is a massive leap in level of glass and everything. And sure, you can go way over that, but the more money you spend from that point, you don't get like those $200 binoculars are at this level. You spend $400, you don't see double the difference. You may see eighth of a difference, and so on and so forth, up to $2,500. If you've been looking at high quality glass all your life, and that's all, you may notice these little things, but the average guy, that is all you need right there. And they're fabulous. Perfect size, weight, crystal clear, everything. Absolutely love them. Didn't know if I would, and I love them. We're going to do a review on those too. Guys, there's stuff coming down the pipe, and if you're not watching a couple creators out there, namely the Sean Ryan Show, go and watch the Sean Ryan Show. I don't care. Pick up some episodes. If you see some funky shit like UFO stuff, don't worry. He's not a wacko. He did an interview with President Trump. He's interviewed some of the most high-profile people in the world. He's legit. He's the real thing, and he speaks the truth. Ex-Navy SEAL, ex-CIA. He knows what's going on. And there's one video in particular that lays it out there, tells you who they are. Everyone says, well, they are doing this and they are doing that. It lays it out there. It's the easiest thing to see overall. And it's all about the migrant situation coming north. It has to do with the Panama Canal, the Chinese, and travel pathways for goods. And it's what's going on and what's happening to this country, and we need to pay attention. He's got a guy on there. It's in the last month or two that he did the interview. I can't remember his name, but that lays it out. It's about the Darien Gap. Go take a look at that video and come back here next week and talk about it. It's going to blow your mind. And some of you might know, some of you might not. But when you're done watching that video through and through, you're going to go, oh my God, it all makes sense. And it's what's happening, guys. And it's got to be stopped. Got to be, or we're not going to have what we have today. Our freedoms, it's not going to be the same world. Not going to be. You're not going to. It's sad. And it's not conspiracy. It's so funny. Anytime I've been called a conspiracy theorist, as it turns out, I was just ahead of the curve. That's all. They're no longer conspiracies. They're proven out. Go watch that. Watch everything Sean Ryan can put out. I don't know the man. I don't know anything. I watch a lot. And I've been trying to put all this together, and it finally makes sense. He made it make sense. Him and his guests. There's a great one on there about Blackwater, what they did to him. So much. I got a lot to say about him in the Trump interview on there too, which we'll talk about. But go watch it and come back here next week. All right, Darien Gap. It's a crossing in South America. Go watch it. Trust me, you'll say thank you. And we'll talk more about Mosins and fun stuff, and I'll get you some videos. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for hanging in there. It just shows who the real fans are, who the true friends are. And it was great to have you, Joe. If you're watching this, we're all praying for you. Keep it up, buddy. Hang in there. It only gets better. I promise you. Promise you. We're there for you. You need anything, you just call. Guarantee anybody on here will help you out, Joe. All right. Love y'all. Thanks very much. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out. Have a good night, gentlemen, and ladies too.